I tell you what, take the jacket, take the radio. Enjoy the
Got to come back and see if you're back here again. And inside, it's named after my sister's marsh. It's been there since the 1700s. They lock you into little cages with these old valuable manuscripts. Incredible place to go into. Now I was going to stop at the back there. Darren, could we get up there still for a photo if possible? That's one thing in all and even as I say, this would be a protest, they all have some sort of and it does make an awful lot of difference as well. As I said, that's the Liberties over there, and you look up. He was going to choose Edinburgh, and then the idea he summed up with Dr. Bartholomew Moss. And if you're interested in your heritage and stuff like that, there is a website you can Google and look up, and it will be for this week only. They have thousands temporarily working in there. Now, this river here along is the Liffey. If you look on the right hand side, there's a lovely cream building, and can you see this beautiful hand-painted fresco on it there on the side? That's the history of soap on that. And how I know that is I went in there as a child years ago, and I had a little tour in there, and that was Lever Brothers, you know, Sunlight Soap. That was their wages office. A lot of these places where Stilo won, they're ill-fed, ill-armed, ill-trained. They are decimated, blown asunder, and all of a sudden, what happens? Northern Ireland, this tiny pocket, they're called, it's known as the Flight of the Owls. Now, interesting enough, if you look at the dates, Queen Elizabeth, she popped her cloud.
ship was through the keel blocks. They set big wooden blocks on the slipway to start with. Then the keel on top of that, like a backbone, and the frames attached to that, like a skeleton. Workshops everywhere. It took weeks to find a way around. But the workshops of every trade you ever heard of. Painters, sailors, coppersmiths, oilators, cabinet makers. I even went about French culture with them. One of those is a fine place to work, but dangerous. Every ship costs a life, and there'd be lots of injuries besides. I was in the engine works for a while. Very well equipped it was. That's where we built the triple expansion engines. Two of them, each as high as a 3-story house. I worked in the frame bending shop. We had heat steel beams in the furnace, then hooked them on the slabs of cast iron, and hammered them curved. But the spring work, you had to bend down more than you needed, because the frame strained out a little when it cooled. The constant hammering against the shell plates. You could hear it all over Belfast. 31 bob a week. You hear it going in Catchment at 16 bob. And we all work the same 54 hours.
Southampton good welcome to her. By April 10th, 100,000 people. Almost a year of fitting out followed, transforming the massive hull into the sumptuously appointed liner described by the White Star Line as the Queen of the Ocean. By March 1912, Titanic was ready for her maiden voyage. For Belfast, the triumphant culmination of many years' planning and labour. Before she could be handed over, Titanic had to undergo sea trials. On the 2nd of April 1912, she carried out a series of manoeuvres in open water, under the watchful eye of Board of Trade Inspector Francis Carruthers. Then, at 8 p.m. that evening, she departed Belfast for Southampton. She was preceded by a considerable weight of expectation. At Southampton, the White Star Line had already constructed the massive deep-water ocean dock, covering almost 16 acres and dredged to a depth of 40 feet. England's premier passenger port was flourishing, with new shops, restaurants and businesses opening to service the growing passenger trade. And job opportunities on board ship and in the docks brought migrants from all over Britain and Ireland. Almost 400 of Titanic's crew lived in Southampton's northern district. A national coal strike had left several ships laid up in dock, and the prospect of a job on Titanic was a welcome relief for crewmen who managed to sign up. On April 5th, Titanic was dressed in her signal flags and pennants as a Good Friday tribute to the people of Southampton who had welcomed her. By April 10th, the ship had been fully provisioned, including 75,000 pounds of fresh meat, 40,000 eggs, 1,000 sweetbreads, and 8,000 cigars. At 7 a.m., Captain Edward John Smith came aboard the Titanic to prepare for the Board of Trade muster at 8. Around 9:30, the first passengers arrived on the boat train for London Waterloo. By late morning, all the passengers and crew were aboard, minus 2 firemen who were delayed in a public house and missed the departure. At noon on April 10th, bang on time and fully expecting to be in New York within a few days, the Titanic sounded her whistle and cast off her lines.
You should be able to see it now. Oh my, that's it. It's the Titanic. Pretty incredible, right? That's the bow. We're looking at the bow. It's all still there. I can see the rails. Roger that. What's that hanging off the rails? It looks like icicles. Icicles of rust.
Yeah. They're what Dr. Bob Ballard calls rusticles. Here we go. I'm turning the ROV down along the port side of the bow. You can see those rusticles clearly now. The railings, they're still there, pretty much. There's the chain for the fore-anchor. That's amazing. running back down B deck towards the forecastle. Wow, that is incredible. It's a great shot. There's a hatch. Probably the first to go under the surface. What are those? Capstans. For winding ropes and cables. Let me rotate the ROV. Now we're looking back down the anchor chains. Unbelievable. It's pretty cool, huh? That's a strange box lying there. A heater. From first class. It's fallen out of place. You'd only get third class in this part of the ship. Hang on, I'll go in close. It's so ornate. Here's a cargo crane. Hard to get the scale. The base would be about 10 feet high. You can see the boom where it would be stored flat on the deck. Something's fallen across that one. That's the foremast. It's incredible how it's just still preserved. Just 100 years later. Another hatch. So I've turned now to track down the foremast. What's that hole? That's the entry to the crow's nest. Wow. That's where they saw the iceberg from. Is that what I think it is? Hang on, let me steady the ROV and I'll move in. Captain Edward Smith's private bathtub, with plumbing for fresh water and seawater, believe it or not. What are those? Memorial plaques. There are several of those in the hull now. And that's a telemotor. What's the telemotor for? It's part of the hydraulic system that connected the ship's wheel to the steering gear and the rudder. It's still shiny. Rods of brass. They don't rust. We're about a third of the way along the hull now. I'll turn and zoom in. Can you see that hole? What is that? That's where the forward funnel was. The one that collapsed. Maybe 3 minutes before the end. Coming at the funnel opening from another angle. That's a water tank. Still sitting there. Incredible. It looks almost untouched. A double action Welland quadrant lifeboat, David. Designed to swing the boat well over the side of the ship. So you were okay if you could get into a lifeboat? Mm-hmm. What is that? That's one of the ship's boilers. It is gigantic. So I'm over the debris field now. This is off the side of the ship. Off the side, and here we're behind. So much of it. It's huge. She kind of planed down onto the ocean floor, leaving all this stuff behind. If you look carefully, you can see bottles lying there. It's remarkable. Oh my God. Shoes. Women's. 2 different sizes. They could be a mother and daughter. Well, they came down together, that's for sure. No one's ever figured out what that is. And you know what that is, though?
Go closer.
I'm zooming now.
A chamber pot. Frying pan.
So we're coming out of the back end of the debris field now. Next thing you'll see is the stern section.
What a mess.
But remember, it came down separately. There's another memorial plaque between the two little capstans. We're right at the back of the ship.
Even here, there's more of those rusticles all along it.
The whole deck is covered in it.
And this would be the what? The poop deck.
The very last part of Titanic to come down. People clinging to the railings.
Must have been a terrifying sight.
Here you go. I'll switch cameras. And there's Hercules, lighting up the darkness.
It's unnerving. Do you ever get used to this?
Not really. Amazed every time. And that's it. Pretty much the same view as Dr. Ballard saw when he first explored it in '85.
Tutaj tam. Widzisz, jak oni stoją na krawędzi?
To the north and to the west, treacherous marshes. But to the east, the River Roiche, the river which gives this place its name. Bun Roiche, meaning the mouth of the Roiche, translates to Bun Rathling.
This castle occupies a strategic site, commanding as it does the entrance by sea to the port of Limerick.
Yeah. As the jury's in, we'll be juggling and Jeff are going to meet up there.
Everything's green.
Just let me go all the way.